Nowhere to run, Kale.
Gotta admit, you work really well together.
You're not going through with this.
You know how you get to the top? Having vision. Something all of you lack.
Enough, Kale. You can't stop all of us.
Oh, really? You've had a few hits, but I think it's time we break up the band.
Damn it, Kale!
How about it, Chai? Come on my side. I can make you a real rock star. World famous.
You know what? I'm good.
You know what? Doesn't matter. We both know who's the target user of Spectra.
He's a Sith.
Another pawn, and this one should fare me better.
I'm proud to be a member of the Vandelay family.
I would never say that.
Well, that's the point. I'm controlling you.
What's the point of that? You're literally controlling him.
Is this a joke? You think I can't deal with a cat?
I'm the cat.
What do you think you can?
Woo.
This'll stop you.
Haha, those weren't even aiming at me, dummy.
Damn it!
Get him, Chai!
Kind of terrifying being like a robot with his strings cut. Just deactivating as a human person that just doesn't have a real heart.
Pain in the ass. You know what? Let's take this outside.
He just has a lightsaber and he's like, join me. We can rule the galaxy together. And now there's lightning. Okay, yeah, I wonder what the inspiration for this design might be. Oop, that keeps going. Oh, that's a lot of money. I'm defeating you with your sister. Oh, you dodged it. That's rude. I heal every time I deflect an attack. Well, like half the time. Not good news for you. This game's not very hard.
should see what this body is capable of.
Are you gonna start doing it at some point? Tentacles? Oh my.
Put your pathetic Armstrong tech to shame.
We'll see about that.
Oh yes, we will.
Puts the tech to shame. It's your project. It's your technology that you're negging now.
I can break that lens for you, Shy.
Cool. Okay, so I'm pretty useless for now.
Come here. God, let me break your
Okay. He doesn't seem to be doing anything to it. Like I'm making him block so that he puts them out there, and then you think that it'd be breakable? Am I supposed to do something else? Yeah. Is it up to me now? Is he gonna hit him now? I guess so.
Now finish it. Show Kale who's in charge.
Probably gonna lose this one.
Well, now that I'm done here, time for my cortado.
Oh, I died from attacking, I guess. Okay. But I think doing other stuff adds noise and cuts off whatever his weakness is supposed to be caused by. You just have to just be very moment to moment.
I can break that lens for you. Now finish it.
Okay.
Show Kale who's in charge.
So little damage though.
Come here.
It's gonna be a hard one because it's melee. And I have to switch the right moves and all that. Yeah.
Might want to stand back.
Stay back, Kai. Let me handle that.
All right. Oh, still hit me. Yeah. Did that not work? Oh, you still hit me. Oh, and now we're trying to deflect.
He's gone too far.
That's so little damage, but at least that one works. No, fuck. What? Why does it still go off? I thought that's supposed to, I'm supposed to, that's that. I thought my goal is to use the right ability to essentially like stop the attack from going off. What is happening during that part? I don't know. I don't really like this at all. This isn't very fun. It feels like this is the only one that works. And I do so little damage still. Okay, yeah, that arm's gone, so that's not going to be relevant anymore. I guess I'm about to get practice at however you defeat the other ones. Oh. So I can't hurt him. I don't know how to hurt him during the other attacks. He doesn't enter a vulnerable state. Is that not what that part's for? Is that not the one you hit him? I don't... How do you fight this guy? I'm getting really annoyed now. You have to aim it better? Really? Okay, whatever. You have to specifically aim at that part of his body from the front, even though it's a giant attack. I don't know how to do the Corsica one still, though. Yeah, at what point does he become vulnerable for you to hit? Yeah. Yeah, all I'm doing is getting more. I'm putting myself more at risk, and that's it. That's all I'm accomplishing. I'm not actually doing more to him. No, why'd you go this? What is with the aim of this move? Why did it change directions that hard? I'm literally mid-combo when I fired it off. It's really easy to evade attacks, which is my own. Which I have no incentive to do anything else when he apparently is invulnerable. Ah, fuck. I got distracted talking. Oh, that didn't work. I was too far away at the time. I can just double jump and dash away every time he does any attack. So making the enemy invulnerable just makes the fight really boring.
Kale.
On my side, you could have been something, Chai.
We could have ruled the galaxy together. Oh.
Too bad your little adventure ends here.
Okay. I'm gonna die. But it'll probably start over here and then I can go back to having fun instead of that horrible middle phase that just happened. Okay.
That's what you get for siding with losers.
Temporary losers. I have infinite lives and you don't. Bad news. Okay, yeah, let's go back to having fun now. That was... that fight sucked.
Ends here.
Oh, he's doing this again. I did. Loser. Ah. Woo! Ah. That's really confusing feedback on the ground there when it keeps resetting. What?
That's what you get for siding with losers.
Okay, I'm not getting that attack, I guess. And it's just melting me. It looks like you're supposed to, like, evade based on the timing of the things, but it keeps resetting because it's it's queuing up multiple attacks and giving you overlapping feedback.
Ends here.
Maybe you can deflect it? Nope, that doesn't work. How do you do that attack? What do I do there? I can't seem to dodge it or evade it. Ah. Okay, I am just getting really overwhelmed and confused, I guess. Okay. There's just several moves that I need to figure out what I'm missing about how to interact with them.
It's over. Adventure ends here.
Oh, we're doing that, okay. Yeah. Whoa! Arena-sized attack. Oh, it's the big thing. Oh god. Overlapping feedback. Okay, that's all it is. Ah, I didn't think I was inside that. There we go.
You are a defect who got lucky. I put in the hard work.
You did not.
You think I'm winging this? Not anymore. Macaron!
You ruined this company enough.
Come on, Corsica!
Can't believe I looked up to you! This isn't just about Vandalay. It's about me.
Ah! Came up so fast. There was no warning.
Game over!
You can't just spawn notes 1 centimeter from the
Enough's
finish
enough.
line.
Give us the password.
Never. You're just a bunch of losers.
Maybe so. But together, we're unstoppable.
Chai!
This is just too much work.
What happened to putting the work in, buddy?
Is that it?
I think so. It's over. This is just a bunch of scrap metal now.
I was worried there for a second. But I knew you could do it.
Look who's here.
I'll assume by the damage done that Mr. Chai was involved.
We'll get you fixed in no time, mate.
It's done.
You did it, Chai.
We did it.
We did it. We killed rock and roll.
I apologize for putting you through all this.
Nothing we couldn't handle, Miss Vandalay.
I won't make the same mistakes again. If possible, I'd like to make it up. It would be an honor to work for the company. The real Vandalay that I admired.
And we will welcome you with open arms. Oh, Macaron. After all these years, it's so good to see you at my side again.
I should have done something sooner. Known things went right, Roxanne.
You made it right. That's what matters. And our team needs you back leading development.
Got a new partner, too.
While it might not look it, I had quite a fun adventure coming to meet you.
I won't run away this time, Mom. I understand what you always wanted for me. And the company.
Peppermint, you need to do things your own way. Never change who you are. I think we have a lot of catching up to do.
I'd like that a lot.
Ah, Chai.
I'd love to help, but don't quite think I, fit a job description. So maybe I should see myself out.
Chai, I think you know yourself, that you are special, making the most of what was handed to you and making a difference. I think that's the kind of attitude we need here right now. And Project Armstrong needs an ambassador, a leader, a real rock star. Are you interested?
Nothing more rock and roll than working for a corporation. Don't worry, the corporation now has the correct CEO, so this dystopia is gonna be okay. That's very literal.
Stepped into the light. I couldn't have done it all without you. Synesthesia. Every color when I'm with you. Synesthesia. Synesthesia. Together, despite all that we've seen, white nights, we found our way to victory. Trip the wine, we focused all the colors to make the brightest light, full spectrum, through the prism for what is true. Every color when I'm with you, synesthesia. We stepped into the light. I couldn't have done it all without you. Synesthesia. Every color when I'm with you. Synesthesia. Synesthesia.
So, you're actually gonna learn how to play guitar.
Yeah, gotta practice. Need a backup job, just in case this doesn't work out.
Look at all those colors. That was just really nice to look at. They had like some sort of like comic tones, like algorithm or something set up. I don't know. They could have the shading of the comic tones follow stuff around. I was curious about that stuff because I've never been able to like draw with it well whenever I try to play with that stuff. And like there's people that have like these setups where it seems to like increase and decrease in intensity. Like there's like systems for it's like having it be tool assisted makes it way more manageable. Trying to just have like a brush that puts dots down is rough by comparison. It gives you way less control. And some of the stuff that I've done, like the canvas moves slightly, and then now it's like, oh well, the comic tones are misaligned. I gotta erase them all and start over. But anyway, that's really specific. I don't have a lot to say about this at this point because I kind of voiced most of my concerns earlier. But like the party, the ability to summon people during combat is just a very strange mechanic. The way that you can just spam it the way that I was doing. To some extent, I feel like removing that ability and not having that noise probably makes the final fight a bit cooler, because it probably is meant to feel like this really cool moment-to-moment, like intense reaction-based stuff where you read a bunch of rhythms and have to press the counter button at the right times, then counter it with your own combos. I definitely felt the rhythm element of the game better whenever I was countering instead of attacking. And I guess that's probably because I was reacting to rhythms akin to like the way you do in a rhythm game, and so the enemy was controlling the tempo and I was just reacting to it, as opposed to when I was actually doing combos, which is this kind of like awkward, like you're trying to do stuff on the timing and try to make it feel like you're interacting with the rhythm, but also like you're trying to improvise and play with the different combos. And that always felt sloppier and messier for me compared to just countering. And yeah, if I just didn't summon at all during that fight, it probably would have felt more intense and cool with just being a reaction based and just doing that. The middle phase was terrible, but almost every single boss had a bad part, especially towards the end. Like a lot of the later ones had like, here's the gimmick phase, and some of them were closer and further from, like I want to say that the one at the beginning of the game had a lane-based dodging mechanic for a phase that was like just like kind of like a fun little like playing Harmonix's frequency for a bit, like just kind of dodging about for a bit, and I feel like that one worked. But then like the later one with the werewolf, that one was a very strange. It just didn't have like it didn't feel like it had flow to it the way that other stuff does, because like you were supposed to counter the lasers on a rhythm, but also had to be working your way towards a destination, but the window was tight enough for the countering that it felt like it wasn't super. It didn't feel good trying to move the character also during that window to get into the position to be able to dodge the laser wall when it came each time. So I don't know. Some of that stuff felt strange. I think a lot of people probably like the Corsica fight because, frankly, it gives up on a lot of the boss fight stuff and just focuses on being you matching rhythm inputs, which is like, it's neat, but it also almost feels like an admission of failure to overcommit to that kind of stuff, because that at some point you're just playing a rhythm game, like you're just playing Thumper or something instead of a character action game, because people like that boss fight, it seems, but that boss fight is the fight where you stop playing the game and you just do this other thing instead that is pretty divorced from most of the mechanics of the game, even though the react to a pattern thing definitely becomes more frequent towards the end of the game. Like it kind of feels like you could chart the frequency of occurrences on a linear graph that just goes upwards the entire playthrough until it's happening constantly near the end. But yeah, the final boss fight had a decent first and final phase, and the middle part was just, I don't know, man. I'm sure I was getting some of it wrong because like I eventually realized I was doing the counterattack with the punching the things wrong. But just kind of waiting around with an invincible enemy and waiting for the right tells to then eventually counter to just isn't that interesting. And like the game is, your evasive powers are too strong because they're the same ones you have during platforming. So I can double jump and then dash in midair. So if they wanted me to sit there and like counter all of the incoming attacks or something more interesting, it wasn't very well incentivized because I could just jump and dash away. Maybe when you come back to beat it on the hardest difficulty and you're trying to S rank every verse of the game, then maybe then you run into a problem where dodging doesn't give you enough points and countering does. Maybe that's the situation. So maybe the score would incentivize different behavior. But as somebody who's like largely just trying to beat the game and do well at it, like I'm happy when I see scores come up. But like for the most part, when I'm playing these games the first time, I'm just trying to win and not screw that up for the most part, because character action games are generally hard enough on some level that you need to at least be trying to like just focus on survival to some extent, like in Devil May Cry 4 and 5 and so on, that I need to focus on that, so I can't be entirely focusing on min-maxing. So I'll take an S rank when I get it, but I'm trying to just not die, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. Phase 2 of that fight just kind of, I would just prefer not to do it again. But maybe there's a trick to it, and maybe it clicks eventually, or maybe it feels good, or maybe it's always like a kind of a gimmick that you wish you could skip. I'd be curious how people feel about platforming too, when they loop through the game and play it over and over again to perfect the scores and so on, and then they have to do the big, long, linear platforming sections again. But obviously, on the bright side of things, the presentation's great in this game. Like the music's good, even though we're playing the non-copyright conflict one version of the soundtrack. We're playing the streamers mode. It's still like usually a good time. The animation style and visuals are like impressive. They're a cool time there. There was a few weird moments, especially early in the playthrough, where like the audio and visuals seem to get out of sync with each other, which is kind of a problem for rhythm games. I don't know how that happens. That's not good. You don't want that to happen. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't know. Hopefully that was just a weird glitch or something. I do have a weird issue with the portraits versus in-game character models being animated in certain scenes at the same time, and how that creates a weird conflict, but we've spent plenty talking about that already. This might be the first time I've played a character action game where I kept buying more combos, but then just continued to not learn what they were. I could not tell you what my character's moveset was. Like, left trigger was switch characters, and right trigger was use characters. Left bumper was grappling hook, right bumper was dodge, B was counter, X was light, and Y was heavy, and A was jump. Like, I know what the buttons did, but I did not learn any combos, because functionally it didn't seem to matter what my buttons did, or which combos I was doing. Like, I was very much not, especially when you have a grappling hook to cover the distance, I didn't have much need to learn, like, oh, here, if you press backwards then forward, then hit whatever the button is, Y, I think. Like, I think for Dante and Devil May Cry, backwards to forward plus Y is stinger, and that launches you forward with your rapier. It looks like a rapier attack anyway. You charge forward, and that's a gap closer. And that has a specific purpose, because you need to close gaps in order to keep your combos going. And so, like, and I think if you just held backwards and hit Y, you would launch an enemy into the air or something. Like, I could be wrong, but if I am right, then it's impressive those are seared into my mind, because I have only played the campaigns of most Devil May Cry games once. I played one for... Technically, I played 4 when it came out, then I played it for this channel when it came out on PC. So I played 4 twice, 5 once, and 1 once. And I remember attacks from those games better than I remember the attacks of the game that I just played. And it's just because they externalized into this party system how to counter people. Like, do this character for that color, do that character for that color. That meant that my moves were just homogenous. Like, I'm sure that somebody that loops through and S ranks the whole game has like a more purpose behind their actions, but I found that I could just alternate randomly between hitting X and Y, and you can hit Y on the offbeat while you're charging the attack, and it does not punish you, so you can get away with that. So you really can just keep hitting, you basically just keep tapping the attack button to the rhythm, and you just switch randomly between X and Y to make your combos randomly novel to then get a higher score. And that's all the thought that I put into it, and it worked for the most part. So I don't know. That might be a bit damning, akin to how like countering is significantly easier because you just keep hitting counter to the rhythm. I suppose some of this is just stuff where like it was the original design concept and they committed to it. And so if any of it had flaws in the idea, it was the premise of the game, so it was gonna stick through. Maybe there's ways to iterate on those ideas, but that's what we ended up with at least. Oh! I did die 4 times. That's what'll happen. Yeah, I think it's an interesting experiment, but I do feel like rhythm players will just go back to rhythm games and character action games will just go back to the main franchises they already have.
This is impossible. It's Spectra signals. They're appearing all over the Vandelay campus.
But I thought we shut it down.
Could be some sort of backup plan?
It's Kale. Wouldn't put anything past that bugger.
If only we had someone up to the task of checking those hotspots out.
Who are you implying?
You, Mr. Chai. I was implying you.
You up for another round? See what's going on here?
Doesn't look like I have much of a choice.
Evidence of Spectra? Yeah, there's the doors. Search out the suspicious Spectra signals and challenge yourself to find what's behind their emergence. Hunt down the locations and signals of cleared stages, discover what's afoot. There's a lot of pop-ups. You can now freely select any part of the game from the sofa, so now there's a mission select. There's even more to the hideout. Cinnamon is offering us services customizing your appearance. Corsica has prepped a new time challenge mode, and so on. Extra challenges. The Wall of Fame has unlocked additional challenges, such as more achievements. Rhythm Master. New difficult has been added. Rhythm Master. Besides being really, really, really hard, if your rhythm gauge falls to a D, it's an immediate game over. I think you have what it takes. Yep, there it is. There it is. There's your Dante Must Die difficulty, which for those that don't know, Dante Must Die is when you, in Devil May Cry, if you take a single hit, you lose. You cannot take a single hit. Good luck. Got a new costume. Yeah. So yeah, we're not going to keep going, but there's of course hooks for replay value. The question is just whether or not the gameplay carries it for that. But for other people, maybe it does. I kind of got the gist of it a while ago. Cool werewolf, though. Song swapper? Are there songs in here that get me in trouble? Oh, you can use the tickets to buy a specific song. Yeah. It's like Too Big to Fail. This was like a Nine Inch Nails sound-alike, wasn't it? Do you know your enemy? Sorry. Rebel Girl. Oh no, this was the Black Keys sound-alike. This one was good.
Mr. Chai, did I ever mention to you my penchant for fashion?
No. And you seem the least likely to be into that sort of thing.
I think Sir Macaron programmed me to secretly give him advice.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I discovered a convoluted way of converting gears into fashion options for us.
It makes no sense. But I am intrigued.
So by all means, dabble in my designs.
Okay, so I see my mistake. Stop. Yeah, crossed signals on audio playing. Okay, with voices. Costumes. Oh. That's a lot of customization that you only unlock after the game is over. That's a lot of slots. It's a neat feature to have, but I think because they had pre-rendered cutscenes, by which I mean they had animated cutscenes, not even pre-rendered is not the correct term to use there. they couldn't use costumes because they would contradict. Which I'm always a little mixed on. Honestly, sometimes you might just want to bite the bullet and just let the cutscenes contradict the gameplay. I think it's better to just let people have a feature that might make them like the game more over worrying about like my continuity, because like a lot of players are not only gonna play the game once, so they're just never gonna use this feature where you can swap out the costumes. It seems ill-advised.
Good to see you standing up again.
Sir Macaron is still working on it, but I'm back on my way.
I gotta say though, taking down that giant robot, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Coming from you, Mr. Chai, that is a sufficient accomplishment.
I think there may be a future for you out there in the field.
I asked Sir Macaron for such improvements. Despite his tendency to avoid confrontation, I think he will help with my wishes.
And I'm looking forward to the next-gen version.
Look at him, he's all redesigned because he had those like Rise of Skywalker, not Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens C-3PO like different colored limbs, but now they're now he's got stripped, just sort of like skeletal ones where he got blown up.
What do you think about all these signals on campus?
It is quite alarming.
Are they even doing anything?
No, and that is what is suspicious. Miss Peppermint seems particularly concerned.
Well, if it's somehow related to Kale, I don't imagine she'll just let it go.
You would be wise to help her out with this one, Mr. Chai.
So, Macaron, any idea what these signals might be?
No, but honestly, I'm not that worried.
How un-Macaron? So we can ignore them?
Of course we should investigate them, but we're a team now. Whatever it is, we can take it.
Yeah, but first we need to find it.
Well, Peppermint's identified what parts of the campus they're at, so all we need to do is head there.
Well, I guess I'll get to it then. You and Roxanne go way back, but I have to wonder, how did you not figure out Peppermint was her daughter?
One thing about Roxanne, she always drew a hard line between work and her private life. In a way, I get it, but I think even she realizes you can't just turn a blind eye.
So, you think she and Peppermint will be all right?
Not sure it's something you just get over quickly. They've been on their own for quite some time. But that'll be part of my 3-step fix-up plan. Fix up Cinnamon, fix up the company, and fix up the Vandelay family.
That's a lot on your plate.
Hey, compared to what we just did, it's nothing.
Interesting. I don't know how many people would agree, but I don't think that the reveal worked very well, that she was the daughter of the Vandalays. Like, the big reveal be supposed to be this big emotional moment and reveal. I was like, okay. And then everyone in the party was okay. It's like, it wasn't really like a dramatic moment, really, beyond just revealing her motivations. So it's a little awkward that they keep having to explain now the contrivance of why everybody worked in this company, but nobody could tell that she was her daughter, and everyone was blindsided by this, despite everyone being relatively like related to these characters, and like basically we're the only person that's especially unlikely to know this relationship. So they have to kind of just start awkwardly explaining it. It's like it's almost like, I don't know, the explanations almost make it like more awkward, like they aren't just moving past it, they're reminding me of this strange plot development. So now I'm like, oh right, I'm supposed to just believe they just somehow all didn't know about each other this whole time, I guess. Weird. More healing. Now I'm even more strong in that situation. Magnet backstab. I think that's every single button now. These are expensive. I'll grab that one, I guess. Why not? Just spend.
So, Chai, I know there may be more pressing issues, but I thought about testing something out.
Uh-oh. What now?
We know we've got a handle on your abilities, but how far can we push them?
I can already sense this will be a lot of work.
I made a challenge program. I want to see how much we can overcome as a team. It's what I would consider a stress test on our survivability.
I don't need stress.
Or it could be fun, depending on how you look at it. Regardless, I've set it up, and if you want to give it a try, just let me know.
It's a stress test on our survivability. You know, like an electric chair. Oops, I meant to click dialogue. Nope, 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 we're not doing this right now. My bad. Fart cat. That cart's farting music. Somebody tell me the exact notes she's farting. What song is it? Model viewer.
I'm a bit worried about Peppermint.
I wouldn't worry about it. Just be supportive. Even though you did the fighting, she's been through a lot emotionally. I'm sure she wants to close the book on this chapter.
Yeah. I'll go look out for those Spectra signals for her.
That's a good idea. Even I don't know what to expect from those, so you might want to prep yourself just in case.
Even with this all over, you still seem on edge.
Can't really change my personality. I tried to think of all risks.
But I will say, I think you've mellowed out a bit since we first met.
Now that I would agree with. I may be a bit detail-oriented, but hanging out feels just nice. Plus, everyone's so different. You really bring in a nice perspective.
Yeah, I wasn't used to group work either, but it's kind of fun.
Well, even when it's not fun, at least I can say it's exciting.
Oops.
Even with the...
We both know why I'm here. There's a werewolf. It zoomed in on his ass so that it could have the tail stab out of his pants. Dedicated part of the cutscene. Apparently, Kale's gift of giving Roguefort what he wanted was quite the... What he wanted? You wanted this, Roguefort? You were hoping that things would turn out like this? Alright. So he got turned into his persona is what happened here. Roguefort was able to transform completely into a towering werewolf to assert dominance over anyone who questions him or submits an approval request for an increased budget. Powered by Roguefort's own anger, attacking it will only make it more aggressive and powerful. Defeating it will require something beyond Chai's abilities, some sort of deus ex machina that will conveniently make itself known, like apparently gold just falling on it defeated him suddenly. I don't know if I can buy that explanation necessarily, but also like the idea that his anger was supposed to fuel it was poorly sold, kind of. He just said, "You're making me angry" at one point, but that's about it. He didn't really feel like an especially angry guy, and he didn't have like a hulking out moment because he does just adopt a robot form that transforms out of his body. So I don't know how you fuel something with anger like gasoline. In that case, when you're not hulking out literally. And I gotta say, his voice actor was kind of subdued. He was not giving it his all. He was not very aggro and was not chewing the scenery the way that a robot werewolf accountant probably should. Probably could have committed a bit harder there. What else we got here? This guy has multiple forms because he's Duragon C. Mikado. Where was the other cool design? Where was he? You know the one I'm talking about. The shark thing. Oh, that was a kimono. That's what that was. And they called that. That's the flying one. So many characters and robots. Why are there just some birds? That's some Beetleborg looking stuff. Oh, the armadillo. Armdill.
there are these signals to chase down, but can't we celebrate the victory for a moment?
It's not a victory until we are sure we're finished. This isn't some video game, Chai. You can't just beat the boss and call it a day.
But what
Watch
if it is,
me.
Peppermint? What if it is?
I assure you it's not. Now quit slacking and let's investigate these timely discovered spectra signals.
I know we've had our ups and downs, but I gotta say, we did it, Peppermint.
I hope you learned something from all this.
Wait, there was a lesson?
Pretty sure you were hoping Project Armstrong would give you a shortcut to what you always wanted.
True.
And that wasn't exactly what you got.
Also true.
And you realized that you actually have to put in the work to get what you want.
I see where you're going with this.
Anyway, that's what I got from it, but I expected to take a bit more time to sink into that head of yours.
He has any power and he's saying it, it never will. Alright, pet the cat one more time. Oh god, his thoughts.
Project Armstrong Ambassador. Not bad for the resume. Would be nice if they actually paid me, but you gotta start somewhere.
Still have no idea what this world is like day to day. Like what kind of like did we save people from it? I mean, we saved them from being literally mind controlled into buying things, which seems like a bad plan. If you're gonna mind control people, why not just take their money directly? What's the point of selling something to them at that point? But I'd actually, beyond that, just saving them from literal mind control. I actually don't know what impact he was having on society and how that's going to change now, because we have no idea what the outside world's like beyond what we went through here.
Gotta say, that whole saving me thing, really appreciate it. Didn't know you had that fight in you.
That was so funny, just having the dialogue be directly
There's enough time to hang around.
I really enjoyed him just trying to explain something and being directly interrupted. The boss, I mean, being directly interrupted by just a cat jumping on his face. Wow, look how complete that is. It's a metaphor.